Okay, so I was working on a new Shovel Knight video until three things happened that made me change my mind on doing the video in the first place. Firstly, I realized I didn't really know much about the full story and didn't want to just spew nonsense. Even though I already spew nonsense, but that's neither here or there. Nextly, I've actually been working on an animation collab with some wonderful people, and when that's out, I'm actually going to make a video talking about it. But most importantly to this video, the Yacht Club announcement DLC is coming out, that being on the 13th. Meaning after that, DLC 3's next. And to say that I'm not excited for DLC 3 will be a complete understatement. Hell, I've actually been coming up with ideas for a long time now, and I actually really want to share my ideas here. So since I actually have a chance to talk about something new Shovel Knight related, let's do just that. So today, I'm going to be talking about my ideas for Shovel Knight DLC Pack 3. Let's get started. Now, okay, before I start, let me make something clear. This is all being recorded 2 days before the second DLC comes out, so say something I say here is actually in the game, then I don't know, you can make fun of me. But let's not worry about that. Let's actually start talking about the ideas for the third DLC. Now, let's lay out how this is going to work. I'm going to start off with things that the first DLC added, so, you know, characters, items, relics, and all that, right? Then we'll be going slowly into DLC 2 with the whole stage stuff. Well, okay, that's the only thing I'm going to be talking about from DLC 2 because, I'm going to be honest, it's been a little bit since the last time I watched the trailer, so I don't really remember much outside the new levels. And after that, I'll be sharing two ideas I have that are basically brand new ideas for this game. Something that's not been seen in this game yet, so that'll be fun. But before that, let's actually start with something we already know that's coming to this game, that being online. Yep, that's right, we're going to be getting online in DLC 3, and if you don't believe me, then I'd recommend you check out the Yacht Club Games Direct, because they literally mention it when they're talking about Pocket Dungeon. Now that that's out of the way, let's actually start making ideas, and let's start with the thing that, well, let's all be honest, y'all are probably here for, characters. Now, if we pay attention to the previous DLCs, then we can see that they both added 4 playable characters. So I'm just gonna assume that we'll be getting 4 playable characters here as well. And I have some ideas. 3 as a matter of fact. So let's start with the easiest one. That being, the Wandering Travelers. Now, if you asked me before DLC 1 came out, I probably would have said that they don't really have a good chance of returning. But now they're here as mini bosses in DLC 2, and you know what? I'd say go for it. It'll be really easy for them to actually add them, because 1, they have good reference for what they can do based off their boss fights, and 2, they literally have sprites in the game, so it would still take a bit of work to code it, but it wouldn't take nearly as long as a new character. But I'm gonna get a lot of hate saying this. I don't think they should be the next characters in this game. Now, before you lich me, let me explain. I love these 4, but they've already been given the spotlight more than a couple times, so I think someone else deserves that spotlight. And if you've seen any of my previous videos, you probably know who I'm talking about. That, of course, being the Hexavators. Well, more specifically, Spore Knight, Hive Knight, and Joy. Yeah, look, I know I'm being a bit predictable, but come on. Alongside giving these 3 more of a spotlight, it also helped to add more stuff from Shovel Knight Dig, because outside of Scrap Knight and her stage, there really isn't any other rep here, which, I mean, on paper is fine, but it just feels very weird not having the other Hexavators there. Well, besides Tinker Knight and Mole Knight, but they don't really count. As for the 4th character, though, I say fuck it, make it Myred. Make this guy playable. Why? Honestly, I just think he's neat. I could totally see some kind of creative moveset coming from him. Heck, maybe you can unlock him from buying all the skins from him, so that way he has more of a purpose, and it also gives a better reward for getting all the skins outside of just a simple feat. As for my last idea, they could easily just make a group of new guys to advertise the next game in the series. But since I'm not a time traveler, I'm just gonna pick group 2 because 1, I like them more, and they play heavily into my ideas for this DLC. So let us continue with hats, items, challenges, and relics. Okay, now I know I'm kind of rushing through this here, but let's be honest, I don't really have much to say here, but I'm at least going to come up with one idea for each item. Sound fair? Alright, let's start with hats. Easy idea. Say every time you grab a potion or every time you deal damage, your character's skin just suddenly swaps to another skin. Pretty simple, but pretty fun. Kind of similar to that one Armor and Plague of Shadows, but, well, obviously not shuffling your relics too. Nextly, a new challenge. This one's also kind of simple, actually. Simply give Spore Knight a challenge where your only way of damaging enemies is by pushing them to the walls. It would actually make perfect sense because of her whole mushroom thing and how she's portrayed as bouncy. Yeah, don't ask me. She's just a little squishy boy. Or, like a squishy girl. Saying little squishy girl sounds kind of creepy. But okay, before I sound even worse, let's talk about items and, I don't know, a phase locket that has a good amount of uses, but only lasts 2 to 3 movements? I don't know. Finally, a new relic, and I got a really interesting idea to say the least. So hear me out. Let's say you have 500 gold on hand, right? Well, then you do 1 hit point like normal. But now let's say you have 10,000. Now your damage doubles. Now you deal 2 hits. And so on and so on. So you have 15,000, you now deal 3 hit points. 20,000, 4 hit points, so on and so forth until you become a god. Basically, add a relic where the more gold you have, the better the damage. And there's even a really interesting drawback you can have here too, where you would need to have lots of gold to be able to get massive damage. Alongside that, you would actually need to decide your risks, whether or not you want to take more relics, or stick with this one relic, but this one relic will get stronger as time goes on. It would actually be really fun, especially in endless mode. Oh man, it would be fun in endless mode. But okay, now I know that sounds a little bit complicated, which on paper it kind of is, but you know what? That's the best idea I could come up with, so yeah. Also add new cheat codes and quality of life stuff. I honestly don't have any ideas for these. I just thought I'd throw those 2 in here before we talk about stages. So let's talk about stages. Yeah, in DLC 2 we got the Explodatorium and the Lost City, so let's keep that train rolling. And because my whole picks, we have 2 easy stage ideas. Those being the Spore Mines and the Grub Pit. Yeah, that's another reason why I chose Spore and Hibernate for this game. But okay, now it's time for the fun stuff. That being brand new ideas, and I have 2 ideas to pitch to you all right here. First things first, give us a boss mode. Maybe we can access it in a new area, kind of like the whole cloud stuff, but boss related or something, I don't know. But just give us a way to fight all the bosses in the game. There are so many good bosses that only have a slight chance of showing up because of the whole portal stuff. More specifically, the mini bosses. Or so it would be fun to be able to challenge all the bosses in a massive run. Or maybe you'll get a reward after each time you beat a boss for your next boss fight. Maybe you get to choose between healing, getting a new relic, or possibly getting something else, I don't know. I think it would be pretty neat. Hell, there could actually be a really simple way of unlocking it. Simply have to beat all the bosses in the game at least once. You can even have new feats to sweeten the deal. But as for my other idea, this is something that I've wanted in the game ever since DLC 1 came out. Yacht Club. Please let us use hats in versus mode, like, come on! I mean, seriously. It would be so fun to have access to them. Make them a toggle feature, kind of like showing IDX with the whole cheat codes. Heck, you don't even need to add all the hats in there because, honestly, some probably wouldn't really work well. But come on. Let me have my Terrapin and Big Creep showdown with the red and green link gimmick going off every once in a while and gets a friend. It would be amazing. So much replayability. Now, if Yacht Club Games is watching this video right now, I have 3 things to say. 1, how'd you find this video? 2, I am sorry for telling people all the weird stuff that shows up when you search up Mona Shovel Knight on Google Images. And lastly, well, add the Hexavators as playable characters, but also give us hats in versus mode, please. But okay, enough rambling. That's kind of all I really wanted to talk about. Besides, I kind of want to go back and waste my life playing Pocket Dungeon's 2nd DLC all summer, so until next time, I've been Kirby Stomatis, and okay, I kind of need a better outro, but not my problem. Bye!